Late one night, Sarah was alone in her room, scrolling on her phone. A sudden chill crawled up her spine as the room felt unnaturally cold. She dismissed it, probably just the old heating system acting up again. Then, she heard it. A faint whisper, barely audible, coming from the corner of her room. "Sarah," she froze. Her heart raced, but she told herself it was just her imagination. Slowly, she turned her head toward the corner, expecting to see nothing. But there, in the shadow, a figure stood. Pale, with hollow eyes, grinning. "Sarah, I've been waiting." Her phone slipped from her hand, the light flickered, and the whisper grew louder. Sarah's breath hitched as the figure slowly stepped forward, its grin widening unnaturally. Her legs were paralyzed, trapped by fear, but her mind screamed for her to move. Who are you?" she stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. The figure tilted its head, as if amused. "You don't remember?" it crooned, its voice echoing through the room. "I was there, every night." Sarah's eyes darted around, desperately looking for an escape, but her bedroom door slammed shut on its own. "I used to whisper from the shadows. When you were a child," the figure continued, stepping closer. "You thought I was a nightmare. But I never left." A cold gust of air blew out the light. Now, in total darkness, the whispers surrounded her. "I'm closer than you think." Suddenly, icy fingers wrapped around her wrist. Her scream never left her lips as the darkness swallowed her whole. Sarah's world spun as everything went black. She awoke in a strange place. Her bedroom was gone. Instead, she was standing in a cold, empty hallway with flickering lights. The air felt heavy, like it was pressing against her skin. "Where am I?" she muttered, her voice trembling. The whispers returned, but this time, they weren't just from one direction. They echoed from everywhere, blending together in a chaotic chorus. "You can't hide anymore." Panicked, Sarah started running down the hallway, her footsteps echoing in the emptiness. The walls seemed to stretch endlessly, the flickering lights casting long, eerie shadows. Suddenly, she saw a door at the end of the corridor, her way out. She sprinted toward it, but just as her hand reached for the doorknob, it vanished. The door dissolved into nothing, leaving her trapped in the endless hallway. From behind her, the whisper grew louder, and the figure emerged once more. But now, it wasn't alone. Dozens of shadowy figures crawled from the darkness, their eyes hollow, their mouths whispering her name. "You never escaped us, Sarah. You brought us with you." Frozen in terror, Sarah realized they had been with her all along, following her through every moment of her life, hidden in the corners of her mind. As the shadows closed in, their whispers became deafening. Her vision blurred, and in that final moment, Sarah understood. She had never truly been alone. The figures reached out, and the darkness swallowed her once again. Sarah woke up again, gasping for air. She was back in her room. No endless hallway, no shadowy figures. Was it just a dream? Her heart pounded, and she hesitantly glanced around. Everything seemed normal, but something felt off. Then, she noticed it, a small, old mirror sitting on her nightstand that she didn't remember owning. Slowly, she approached it. As she looked into the glass, her reflection was wrong. Her face stared back, but behind her, in the shadow, the figure stood, grinning. "You're mine now," it whispered. This time, there would be no waking up.